Deion Sanders reacts to Shedeur Sanders being speechless after Browns QB move. The Cleveland Browns have made a quarterback change ahead of Week 5. The Browns benched Joe Flacco in favor of rookie quarterback Dillon Gabriel. Shedeur Sanders, meanwhile, will remain the third-string quarterback, and after the news was made, he had a silent media scrum reacting to the news. Following the scrum going viral, Sanders' dad, Deion Sanders, took to Instagram to react to the news and praised his son for what he did. "Good one, son. You did that," Sanders wrote on Instagram. Although many fans didn't like what Shedeur did, his father, Coach Prime, seemed impressed with how his son handled the news. Of course, Sanders went full mime in reaction to people claiming he talks too much for being a third-string quarterback, as he's just focusing on getting better and waiting for his spot. Former NFL coach rips Shedeur Sanders. Sanders decided not to talk to the media after the quarterback change, after he was accused of talking too much. Former NFL coach Rex Ryan was on Get Up on ESPN and blasted Sanders for talking too much, despite not playing. "This kid talks and he runs his mouth," Ryan said. "Like he said, I can be a starting quarterback, with his arms crossed like this. Get your ass in the front row and study and do all that. If I know, the whole league knows. Quit being an embarrassment that way. You've got the talent to be the quarterback. You should be. You should be embarrassed that you're not the quarterback now." It was a bold comment from Ryan, and Sanders decided to remain quiet in response to those comments from the former coach. Ryan served as the coach of the New York Jets and Buffalo Bills. He went 61-66 all-time as an NFL coach. Browns coach explains decision to start Gabriel. After 4 weeks of poor offensive play, the Browns have decided to make a quarterback change. Cleveland will start Gabriel in Week 5, and coach Kevin Stefanski says it was time to give the rookie a shot. "Okay, going to start Dillon Gabriel at quarterback, as I know you guys saw. First of all, this is not about one person. Joe Flacco is a captain of this football team," Stefanski said. "We're going to need his leadership moving forward, like always. That's obvious with Joe, just the person he is, he's going to be the same guy every day. Excited for Dillon, he's done everything, he's handled everything really well since he's been on campus here. So just going to have to support the young man, coaches, players, offense, defense, special teams." Stefanski makes it clear that the blame for the slow start on offense isn't all on Flacco, but he wanted to see how Gabriel would do. "Yeah, I think the big thing for me is we need to all be better," Stefanski added. "We need to coach better, we need to block better, catch better, run better, all of the above. We need to be better. And I know the quarterback position gets quite a bit of scrutiny, I understand that. But this is about our entire team playing better." The Browns play the Minnesota Vikings in Week 5 in England. When Shedeur Sanders learned about the Cleveland Browns' latest quarterback shuffle, his reaction wasn't fiery, dramatic, or overly emotional. It was silence. The rookie, who had been at the center of headlines for weeks, simply stood speechless, according to those inside the Browns' locker room. For a young quarterback used to both praise and pressure, that word carried weight. And it didn't take long before his father, NFL legend and Colorado head coach Deion, Coach Prime Sanders, addressed it in a way only he could. This story isn't just about a roster move. It's about the clash between NFL realities and the DNA of a family that has lived, breathed, and reshaped football culture. The Browns' quarterback carousel. Cleveland has been no stranger to quarterback drama. In recent weeks, head coach Kevin Stefanski made the surprising decision to start rookie Dillon Gabriel over Shedeur Sanders and veteran Joe Flacco. The move raised eyebrows across the league. Was it about Gabriel's readiness? Was it a short-term tactical adjustment? Or was it a deeper sign of how the organization views Shedeur's development in his first NFL season? For Shedeur, who entered the league with a spotlight brighter than most rookies, the demotion was jarring. According to teammates, when the news was delivered in the quarterback room, Shedeur leaned back in his chair, folded his arms, and said nothing. No frustration. No rebuttal. Just stillness, speechless, as one insider put it. And that silence may have spoken louder than anything else. Deion Sanders, father first, coach second. If there's one thing Deion Sanders has mastered, it's controlling a narrative. Whether during his Hall of Fame NFL career or his head coaching tenure at Jackson State and Colorado, Prime has always been unapologetically outspoken. But when it comes to his son, his role shifts. He's not just Coach Prime. He's Dad. So, when reporters inevitably asked about Shedeur's speechless moment, Deion didn't see a young man being defeated, he saw maturity. Sometimes the best response is no response, Deion said during a media availability in Boulder. You don't always have to jump up, get loud, or make a scene to let people know how you feel. That silence. That was his way of saying, I heard you, but I'm not broken. In Deion's mind, the reaction wasn't about disappointment. It was about discipline. Shedeur, he argued, chose to stay calm in a storm that could have easily spiraled into negative headlines. The Sanders way, controlled confidence. Shedeur Sanders has long been compared to his father, not just on the field, but in how he carries himself off it. Where Deion once strutted into press conferences draped in gold chains and sunglasses, Shedeur has carved his own lane with a quieter swagger. His custom watches, social media savvy, and understated defiance all mirror a family tradition. Control the spotlight, don't let it control you. So when Shedeur sat speechless after being informed of his demotion, it wasn't a breakdown, it was a pause. A calculated pause. Deion himself framed it this way. Shedeur ain't speechless because he didn't know what to say. He was speechless because he was thinking about the right way to respond. That's growth. That's professionalism. That's exactly how I taught him. In essence, silence was a choice. The locker room dynamic. NFL locker rooms are sensitive ecosystems. Every look, every gesture, every word, or lack thereof, gets dissected. For veterans like Joe Flacco, Shedeur's silent reaction signaled restraint rather than immaturity. For rookies, it was a reminder that not every setback demands an immediate outburst. Some teammates reportedly respected the way Shedeur handled himself. He didn't pout, didn't walk out, didn't throw his helmet, one Browns player said. He just sat there. And that told us he's serious about handling his business. Still, the unspoken pressure is there. Every quarterback in Cleveland knows the starter's job is never secure, and Shedeur's silence also carried the weight of ambition. He doesn't plan to be a backup for long. Deion's public defense. Coach Prime has never been shy about defending his kids. Whether it's Shedeur, Shiloh, or Deandra, he steps into the public arena with a father's heart wrapped in a coach's charisma. I know my son, Deion told reporters, his tone steady. He don't get speechless for nothing. What you saw was a young man controlling his emotions, respecting his team, and staying locked in. That's class.